had, and he kept waiving the constitution in an assembly election. That also potentially didn't click. They tried the whole Gujarat versus Maharashtra tactic, that didn't work. They tried the whole Dharavi, Adani tactic, that didn't work, Sheila Bhatt. And they waived the constitution in an assembly context. We were like, I don't think this is what this is about. So voters have more finessing than Rahul Gandhi seems to appreciate.
Yeah, because I think people don't want to live in illusion. They think even if some government we have some problem with them and their leaders, even if they seem to be delivering something, then they will go for it. I think direct bank transfer is a event which has changed the game of politics. DBT.
But I also think this entire Adani issue, people see through it, because on one side you have Revant Reddy, who is non-stop giving Adani and calling for Adani investment. In fact, the government of Telangana donated 100 crore rupees to Adani's foundation. So on one side you are doing all this, Gehlot and Bhupesh Baghel, attracting investments from Adani. And here you have one leader out of the blue, he wants to completely put all
Rahul
the blame
Gandhi
against Adani. It doesn't work like that.
Of Bofors, because what all Rajiv Gandhi suffered. So he thought that he is doing Bofors on NDA, but he forgets that this man is an Indian-born man. Bofors is a foreign company.
See, Rahul Gandhi is not speaking in the language of the disgruntled voter, as you mentioned. The disgruntled voter had issues of inflation, agriculture, farmer suicides. He's speaking about Adani, saying ek hai to safe hai, caste census.
No, this status of privilege. So Rahul, listen to what Uddhav Thackeray says. He says, cannot believe Maharashtra will behave with me this way. What kind of an attitude is this? वो बपौती है क्या आपकी? कि आपके हिसाब से वो काम करेगी? See, this is, they take the entire people as if they are their slaves and they have to respond to the masters according to their likings. Rahul, this doesn't work like that.
Yeah. To be fair to Congress and Rahul Gandhi both, I don't think he should not have taken up the Adani issue or any such issue which we think is not working. But any political party and a leader should pick up the issue, take it to the logical conclusion, and that is what convert it into votes. If you are not able to do that, then don't make it an election plan. It cannot be your primary election plan. So, like Bofors, VP Singh,
we have Pushkar Deshpande, who's been part of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, written a book on it as well. So here's the thing, you're waiving the constitution, which ultimately just turns out to be a notepad, not even the real constitution. And then you're saying Samvidhan Khatre mein in an assembly context. I think the voters have seen through everything that was attempted, and the MV is at 49. The Congress just at 16. The Congress is lesser than the UBT. Politically it can't get more embarrassing than this.
Rahul, the constitution that Rahul Gandhi waived was an actual constitution. What you're referring to is a diary that was passed around. That's a different thing. See, Rahul Gandhi is a national leader, and he does need to raise both state level and national level issues, talking about the caste census, Samvidhan, the impact of the Adani indictment on India's economy, the Manipur issue, among others, may not directly impact Maharashtra. But such issues...
Let me put that question to Yogendra Yadav. You're saying he needs to raise national issues, but Yogendra Yadav, the fact is that Samvidhan Khatre mein hai connected with voters in the Lok Sabha context. It seemed to me from the outside that because that's a trick that worked for him, he thought, I can do it again. But a political check, as you know well, can be encashed only once you've encashed that check. He tried to encash the same check at another bank, an assembly bank this time, and that bank and its tellers rejected it, saying, ye yahan nahi chalega. That was a Lok Sabha plank.
Thanks, Rahul. I'm sorry. I'm in remote rural Gujarat and the electricity went off. And I'm getting too much of a PC sound, so can you request them not to speak? To my mind, Lok Sabha election was a great victory for the Constitution. However, ordinary people did not vote on the issue of ordinary people did not vote directly on democracy, secularism. Ordinary people spoke on the issues of their own day-to-day problems. And that is what the opposition needed to focus on. I'm sorry, I'm just getting too much of your pieces sound. Can you request them to disconnect from that? I can't hear you.
Okay, I
My
hope it's
apologies,
fixed now.
Rahul.
Is it fixed now? Is it okay?
I think I'm getting all your TPR talks. My apologies.
Okay, I'm going to give it a second. Keep speaking in the hope that, that this gets fixed. Is it fixed now? Okay, give us a moment as we try and set that right. We'll come back in just a moment. But Amitabh Tiwari, this idea that as a national leader, that Deshpande makes, he has to speak about national issues, but he has to speak about issues that the voters there want. For example, if he'd spoken about kharche pe charcha, cotton, soybean, take up issues that matter to people, then you're speaking their language.
Yes, so unemployment, price rise, agriculture distress, these are all national issues which he did not speak on. Adani, Ambani, constitution khatre mein hai, caste census pitch, all these issues might resonate with the national audience or might get him some headlines, but that is clearly not clicking with the rural audience or the audience in Maharashtra.
That's the problem. No, but Deshpande, here's
All
the
of them
thing.
are negative in
You know, he
connotation.
tried that Rafale fighter aircraft charge. It didn't click. He tried the Dharavi charge. Even in that area, look at Mumbai. I mean, it's the Mahayuti that is won. So he keeps firing these blanks. They don't connect. And yet he thinks he's on the right track. He's convinced he's on the right track.
No, so what I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make is that every national leader experiments when raising national issues. We never know what will catch the public's imagination. We all do that. The fact of the matter is that should have been coupled with local issues. You're perfectly right. We didn't get our campaign right. We could have countered this polarizing meta-narrative that the Mahayuti spearheaded by focusing on local issues that sway elections substantively, you know. The retail inflation is very high, farmers' suicide is very high, women security is a problem. We could have been much more, municipal issues are a major problem here. I know for a fact that sewage, bad roads, petty corruption have increased. We need to focus on that. And I think that will become, when we go back to the drawing board, that will be one key takeaway that we will focus on when we go into the
you're saying netas need to experiment. I mean, a question also asked is, how long do you keep experimenting before you finally crack the experiment? Yogendra Yadav ji, the fact that Rahul Gandhi is speaking about the constitution, I mean, for example, if he'd been speaking about kharche pe charcha, cotton, soybean, farmer issues, agrarian distress, I mean, there was anti-incumbency to be tapped into, and yet the leader of the opposition is not able to do it, and the Congress leader is calling this an experiment, saying he needs to experiment, try till you succeed, throw a few darts, maybe one hits.
Well, that may be Congress's view. That's not my view. My impression is that I would not credit Rahul Gandhi with the success of the India coalition in Jharkhand, nor would I think Rahul Gandhi is principally to be blamed for the failure in Maharashtra. It is the job of national leaders to raise national issues, and it is the issues, and for local leaders to raise local issues. To my mind, what has gone wrong is principally not what the national leaders said. This is true of Congress. This is also true of the BJP. I don't think BJP national leadership has done something dramatically wrong to get Jharkhand, to lose Jharkhand. To my mind, principally it was a state election. More than a state election, this became a local election. And BJP's great success in Maharashtra was actually to turn it hyper local. What it did was that it thought of how this government was formed, the fraudulent manner in which the government was formed, was actually not an election issue. The MVA failed to turn it into an election issue, and the BJP successfully managed to erase it. That is where the election was won.
So look at how things have changed. Earlier it was said BJP wins when it's a national election. That's Amit Shah. Look at the roar of applause that he gets as he comes in. He's delighted. This is a big victory for the BJP. He's the man in Marathwada and Vidarbha. We've been going constantly, going more to Marathwada and Vidarbha than he was to Mumbai, spending time there, now delighted. But the fact is that they micromanaged this election, and the MVA seemed to have been so certain that they were winning that they didn't make the effort required to win, Yogendra Yadav.
On that, you're absolutely right. I think the MVA leadership did not simply focus on, they did not actually get their act together. Where was the MVA manifesto? They had some 5 declarations, but there was no common manifesto. Where was the one face? To my mind, they could have actually projected Uddhav Thackeray. That may not have been a bad stretch, but they did not. But they were anxious about each other. Where was the collaborative, a common strategy? There was none. That is, I will get credit. I'm sure neither you nor the BJP workers will blame Mr. Amit Shah for what happened in Jharkhand, where the Bangladeshi, the completely fake issue of Bangladeshi Ghuspaitias was raised again and again, obviously with his Ashirwad. But then, victory has, at a moment like this, people don't remember that. To my mind, now that we are doing analysis and we are not doing any BJP or Congress publicity, the fact is that national leadership on both sides was relatively inconspicuous in this election. Mr. Modi was not a very active campaigner. From both sides, national leadership was inconspicuous. But in the last instance, BJP-led national leadership will get credit for Maharashtra victory. In the last instance, BJP leadership should get the blame for Jharkhand defeat, where they had actually won the Lok Sabha election and lost in the Assembly election. Similarly, in the last instance, India coalition leadership, but specifically Congress, should get the responsibility. National leadership, they should take the responsibility, because when they saw that MVA in Maharashtra was unable to get its act together, it was their duty, it was their responsibility to step in and say, don't fight, don't do all these small things, don't be so complacent, you can actually lose. They did not do that.
Yogendra ji, the next big battle in Indian politics is the battle in Delhi. That's a party which you know well, the Aam Aadmi Party, you've been a part of it. The BJP is now out of power for a very long time. And the 10 years of anti-incumbency against Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party. At this moment, how do you weigh the Delhi election?
Rahul, I will not commit the same mistake, because if I say a word, 2 months later, you would say, you made a forecast, you were funded.
No, I'm not asking for a forecast, I'm asking for your analysis.
My analysis, as I had said earlier to Rahul, is that the real big election is Bihar. If Aam Aadmi Party wins in Delhi, that's unlikely to change the overall mood of the nation. And if they lose Delhi and BJP wins, that's unlikely to change the overall mood of the nation or peace.
Okay, he's in a rural part of Gujarat. Remember, Rahul Gandhi said we'll win Gujarat in 2017. He was, of course, at that time straight off the bat of the 2024 verdict, and I think they were getting carried away. So instead of trying to focus on Haryana, Maharashtra, they already hata dunga, pick dunga, ukhad dunga. So just stay focused. Play one ball at a time. Stay focused. Just because you've reached 50 doesn't mean you'll reach 300. So I think that's the lesson there for those who are getting carried away. We'll slip into a break. The Prime Minister will be at the BJP headquarters soon. There'll be a big victory parade, a big celebration, a massive, unprecedented victory for the Mahayuti and the BJP in Maharashtra, and a big victory for the India Alliance in Jharkhand. We're tracking all of that when we come back on the other side of a quick break.
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Ray. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sena, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Big blow to MVA in Maharashtra as Mahayuti crosses majority mark. Jharkhand Assembly election results declared, Hemant Soren set to form government again. Supreme Court issues notice to CBI and ED, on Manish Sisodia's bail relaxation plea in Delhi excise policy case.
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Ray. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello, Moto.
Presented by Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat.
Co-presented by
आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय ई-बाइक, महिंद्रा इलेक्ट्रिक ओरिजिन SUVs.
Watching our live and continuing coverage of the Maharashtra and Jharkhand results. Lots of the key newsmakers joining us. A big celebration planned at the BJP headquarters this evening. We'll be going across live when the Prime Minister comes there. We're getting these live images of the build-up in the meanwhile. Let me take you through the headlines. I'm tracking at 7. It's a Mahayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Shinde Sena gets more seats than Maha Adani combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with NCP's performance. PM Modi hails the Mahayuti victory, says development and good governance is won. PM declares united, we will soar higher. He also congratulates Hemant Soren on his Jharkhand victory. Race for the Chief Minister's post in Maharashtra intensifies. Who will it be, Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? Ajit Pawar's wife says the NCP Neta should be made CM. After poll rout, Maha cries EVM conspiracy. Aditya Thackeray says it needs to be investigated if people or EVMs gave the verdict. Sanjay Raut says the results are unbelievable. JMM-led India Alliance wins Jharkhand. Hemant Soren set to return as CM, thanks his wife and star campaigner Kalpana Soren for the victory. BJP Alliance wins 7 out of 9 seats in the Uttar Pradesh bypolls. UP CM Yogi Adityanath credits PM Modi for the victory, says "Ek rahenge to safe rahenge" message resonated with voters. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra makes a smashing debut as Lok Sabha MP, wins Wayanad by over 4 lakh votes. Priyanka thanks her brother Rahul for his support. For the first time, an alliance has crossed 200 seats in Maharashtra. It's also the biggest victory for a pre-poll coalition in Maharashtra since 1972. And the worst ever performance for the Sena, UBT, NCP of Sharad Pawar and for the Congress. Take a look at what happened through the day-to-day.
Historic landslide for the Mahayuti in Maharashtra.
The BJP-led alliance scripting a never-before poll super smash with a brute majority, leaving the Maha Vikas Agadi far, far behind.
महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने जो अप्रत्याशित इस प्रकार की जीत हमको दी है, महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाज के सभी लोगों ने एकता दिखाते हुए महाराष्ट्र में मतदान किया है। मैं विशेष रूप से हमारी लाडली बहनों का, लाडले भाइयों का, लाडले किसानों का, सभी का बहुत आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूँ।
लाडकी बहीण असेल, लाडका भाऊ असेल, लाडका शेतकरी असेल, महायुतीवर प्रेम दाखवलं आणि त्यामुळे मी सगळ्या मतदारांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो आणि त्यांना एवढ्या मोठ्या ऐतिहासिक विजयासाठी साष्टांग दंडवत घातला पाहिजे.
The Mahayuti is riding high on its flagship pro-women scheme, Ladki Bahin and SOPs for farmers. Equally helped by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's "Ek hai to safe hai" war cry.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, सब समाज को साथ में लाने वाली जो बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही थी, महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है और महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाजों ने एक साथ मिलकर एक बड़ा मैंडेट हमको दिया है.
The BJP's stellar show apart, it was the high strike rate of allies, CM Shinde's Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP, which led to the never-before-seen tally for Mahayuti. While Shinde beat Uddhav in Sena legacy battle, Ajit Pawar eclipsed patriarch Sharad Pawar.
This has been a great moment for us and for the entire Mahayuti. Everybody worked together and our schemes were so beneficial for the people, and especially women voters came out in large numbers. So we are very happy, of course, and I think this has been one of the most spectacular victories in the history of Maharashtra.
Massive celebrations erupted outside Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar's homes. This mandate is historic because this is the first time an alliance has won over 200 out of 288 seats. BJP with 85% strike rate secured more than double the seats compared to Agadi alliance put together, making it the biggest win for a pre-poll coalition since 1972. With a little about 10% strike rate, it was worst ever performance by Sharad Pawar. The Congress also singed the alliance it led with a drastically low strike rate. With a super massive mandate, it's the Mahayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. Bureau Report, India Today.
The man of the moment for the BJP is Devendra Fadnavis. After the Lok Sabha elections, he declared that the party will return much stronger, and he's now delivered on that promise, calling himself the modern-day Abhimanyu, who's fought his way out of the trap the enemies had laid.
महाराष्ट्र में चूंकि एक प्रकार से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सारी जिम्मेदारी महाराष्ट्र में एक लीडर के रूप में मेरे ऊपर थी, तो ये जो हमारा महाराष्ट्र में डिबैकल हुआ है या जो हमें एक प्रकार से हार मिली है, हमारी सीटें कम हुई है, इसकी पूरी जिम्मेदारी ये मेरी है. मैं इस जिम्मेदारी को स्वीकारता हूं. मैं भागने वाला आदमी तो हूं नहीं और जोरों से मैदान में उतरूंगा. मैं आधुनिक अभिमन्यु हूं, चक्रव्यूह को भेदना जानता हूं. हमने चक्रव्यूह को भेदा है. इस विजय में मेरा बहुत छोटा उसमें मैं समझता हूं कि सहभाग है. एक ये हमारी जो पूरी टीम है, इस टीम ने इस विजय को लाया है. हम सब लोग एक साथ रहे, एक साथ मिलकर हमने ये काम किया. इसलिए मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि इस एकता का ये विजय है. जो हमारी महायुति थी, अभेद्य इस प्रकार की महायुति थी, महायुति का ये विजय है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं.
Shaina NC joins us from the Eknath Shinde Sena. Do I call you BJP or you just fought? How do I explain this? She fought on the Shinde Sena ticket, is actually from the BJP. So I'm a bit confused. It's complicated now. Amitabh Dubey joins us from the research team of the Congress. We got You know, an NCP Sharad Pawar leader with us in the studio who's now wearing pink. And I'm kind of confused with you as well. Have you joined Ajit Pawar already? Why are you wearing pink?
No, always Pawar Sahib. You have to say that pink is not limited to one leader. We have to all start
I thought maybe
pink.
on the way you did some deal.
Pink.
You did some deal.
No deals.
But with just 10 MLAs, for all you know, whatever you have, may join the Eknath, may join the Ajit Pawar faction. Yes, Shaina, welcome. Congrats. You fought a hard battle. We saw some images of kind of effort and hard work you made.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the alliance's victory. So how does one describe you, BJP Neta or Sena candidate?
First, it was the Mahayuti leadership that gave me this opportunity, and I'd like to thank Eknath Shinde ji for choosing a Ladki Behen for the toughest constituency in Maharashtra. Mumba Devi, as you know, is a hardcore Muslim bastion, 140,000 people and 1 lakh Hindus. And the kind of polarizing one saw, it only makes you realize, and sadly so, that you have two options. One is to vote on the basis of calm or to vote on the basis of calm. And unfortunately, I think calm is what the opposition set as a narrative, and that is where that comes from. But having said that, it's like moving, Rahul, from one home to another. And when you have a joint family and you move from one household to another, obviously the ideology continues to stay the same. There's no question of compromising with your values. And obviously the interest of Maharashtra is most important at this particular time, not just now, but in the days to come too. And the only thing which seems to have worked in this tsunami historic battle.
Leader. Who will be the next Chief Minister? Will it be Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis or somebody else? What's your take on it, China?
I knew you would ask me this, and let me please say, as a disciplined cadre of the Mahayuti, it is for the Mahayuti leadership to take a decision on who would be. But having said that, Eknath Shinde is a mass leader, Devendra ji is extremely well-rooted with experience, and Ajit Pawar has administrative skill. So it is for the leadership to decide what is the future course. I only would like to say that the interest of Maharashtra is most important, and that's all we all have as a common agenda.
Okay, Amitabh Dubey is with us. I've got two tweets of Rahul Gandhi. I'll show them to you and play them back to back. Tweet number 1, Rahul Gandhi, हमें हरियाणा के अप्रत्याशित नतीजे का विश्लेषण कर रहे हैं. We are analyzing the unprecedented results of Haryana. That was on the 8th of October. Cut to the 23rd of November. He says महाराष्ट्र के नतीजे अप्रत्याशित हैं और इनका हम विस्तार से विश्लेषण करेंगे. You know, he's been doing this विश्लेषण for the last month, and in that time the BJP has pulled the rug from underneath his feet.
So today is obviously a mixed day for us. The India Alliance had a very strong performance in Jharkhand, which we see as an approval of the policies of the government there for the last 5 years. We did pretty well in a number of by-elections in Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, and of course, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi won very decisively in Wayanad, as expected, but it's good to see. Maharashtra is a story that is of great concern to us. Now, don't get me wrong, victory and defeat happens in politics. The Congress party has seen many victories, it has seen many defeats. But in Haryana, we had some very serious questions about the EVMs and the counting, which we brought to the attention of the Election Commission, you will recall. And the Election Commission responded in a very aggressive and a manner that was not really appropriate for a constitutional body that is supposed to look out for the entire democratic system, not only for the ruling party. Now, we have to take this very seriously. So, within weeks, we don't have all the answers. We have begun a process. We've approached the Election Commission, as you know. Now what we see is another election defeat, where, like I said, it's not the fact of defeat that is bothering us. The BJP has gone from just 6 months ago, the BJP won 9 out of 28 seats in the Lok Sabha, and now it has won a record 133 out of 148. The Ajit Pawar NCP won 1 out of 4 Lok Sabha seats just less than 6 months ago.
You're
and
quoting the data back to me.
59.
I'm trying to understand.
We see this as a very surprising and unexpected...
Amitabh, you're smarter than this. You're trying to draw an equivalence between Jharkhand and Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the prize, the political prize. Jharkhand is of course important. There is no equivalence, there is no comparison. You were 30 versus 17 in Maharashtra. This was your election to win. There was anti-incumbency, there was agrarian distress. You know, your man was speaking about the constitution, he was speaking about Dalit reservation. You know, instead of talking about kharche pe charcha, talking about cotton and soybean prices, you know, it was almost as if you were picking up issues which didn't resonate with the voters of Maharashtra. I mean, this is the reality.
I have to disagree with that characterization. I've heard this in the media a lot today. But the fact is that our guarantees, Mahalakshmi, were aimed at women. We had a farm loan waiver, which obviously resonates in Vidarbha, or would have, we had planned to resonate in Vidarbha because that's an issue that's very important there. Caste census affects people, even in the state. We've done caste censuses in our states. Health for all, 25 lakh, insurance, unemployment allowance. These are all issues relevant to a state election. It's not fair to say that we were only carrying on the issues from the national election. Those issues are important, but there were also, we were addressing a lot of the concerns of the state. What we have, our concerns are to do with what some people have been calling, you know, a ground level manipulation, where the deletion of, you know, vulnerable sections from the voting lists, whether it's tribals, minorities,
Come
Dalits,
on, Amitabh.
whether it is
233 versus 49. Even if I for a moment take that some tactical adjustments may have been made, you don't get this kind of a verdict by knocking a few names off the electoral list. This is a tsunami. It was building up in Maharashtra. You were so blinded by confidence that you couldn't see what was going to come and hit you in the face. That's really what happened. Now you're trying to find some fault with electoral rolls or EVMs.
No, we are not doing it now. We were doing it throughout the campaign. We went to the Election Commission. For the last month, we've been raising these very issues. And of course, the Election Commission doesn't do sunwai nahi hoti, as they say. They have a very arrogant attitude about this. They don't listen to us. They don't treat it with the seriousness it is due. And so we have many questions and concerns about this election, which we have raised, which we mentioned in our press conference today, and we will continue to bring to the relevant authorities.
Anish Gawande, do you think you're in the wrong NCP? Are you wishing this evening that you were on the other side?
Not at all. I think definitely in the right NCP, and one defeat does not a party make. And similarly, a single
But this
victory.
one defeat could a party break?
No, I don't think so. I think when the party broke off...
You're also wearing pink.
I'm also wearing pink. But when the party broke off, I think there was a similar moment.
There's messaging in the pink, whether
There's
you
no
agree with
messaging
it.
in the pink. I really should have chosen a better wardrobe today. But
no, you're reaching. It's like it's from a wannabe neta, advertisement to Ajit Tada. Please take me. I'm available. I'm ready.
Not at all.
Waiting for one
I'm
call.
congratulating everyone on the Mahayuti side. We're not sore losers. I think they've fought well and they've won well.
Why did you get hammered?
And I think for two reasons. I think for one, we did not manage to get all of our promises to the people. I think there's a reality that the Mahalakshmi Yojana did not reach people in time.
Why not?
Unfortunately, because it was announced late perhaps. Maybe there was also the fact that every single evening, Rahul, we were being bombarded with some ulema letter or the other, some new controversy around religion in an attempt by no less than the senior leadership of the ruling party to create this election into a Hindu-Muslim election. And we failed to counter that, right? And I think in many ways, that became the dominant narrative in the 1 week before the election.
Can I?
Yes, Rajan.
See, if an ulema is issuing fatwas after fatwas, and you are saying that, I should have dealt with those fatwas later on. I mean, half of the party would have actually wanted those fatwas to come out. My problem is the first one that you said. Typically, we've seen that the Congress party is fairly good in terms of literally, doling out promises and ensuring those promises reach every household. My problem is 1 week before the election, you actually formally came out. 3 days before, you were saying the soybean price, support price that you're going to give of 7,000 rupees, just 3 days before. How on earth are you expecting that?
No, but also that big press conference happens, Amitabh, on the day Donald Trump wins in the United States in the evening. I mean, there's some basic election management 101. Donald Trump is winning. You want to get your message to the voters. The day after you do your press conference, finally the BJP has already booked out all the front pages of the newspapers. I mean, they were running circles around you.
See, I do obviously disagree with that, because what we saw in the general election is we were running circles around them. Now, it doesn't happen that overnight suddenly they have become geniuses and we have become naive at politics. There's much deeper things going on which we have brought to people's attention. There's
what are these deeper things you're talking about?
Announced on the 6th of November, which is not last minute at all. There's enough time for them to be distributed and people to know about them. So I think it's very easy to jump on the loser in an election and say you did this wrong, did that wrong. We have to be fair and balanced. And we've also brought some concerns forth, which I think should be given a fair hearing. Vinod Tavre was caught distributing cash. All sorts of things were happening in this election, which aren't just, a good strategy, but there were some very dubious means used.
Shaina NC, Manikam Tagore said this, Amitabh Dubey is saying this, lots of Congress leaders think that you all gave money and that's how you won. Ki paise ke dam pe jeet gaye.
I want to make just one point.
Yes.
There have been lots of allegations through this election. And if we even look at narratives, I have to make this point, so I want to make it right now. That, every morning you had a Sanjay Raut coming out with a comment. You had a Nana Patole coming with a counter comment. The kind of language that was used, whether it was item, mal, bakri, kutta, that was the level to which they stooped. So people were fed up of listening to this kind of repartee. And in fact, they voted for us in large numbers based on the development work which the Mahayuti has done in 2.5 years. And it's imperative for your viewers to know this, because when people see this kind of a historic tsunami, it's also out of disgust of the other side that seems so desperate to just want the seat of power. If you look at what Nana Patole said, he said that, the Congress is not going to accept a Shiv Sena CM. Shiv Sena, Ubata Sena was of the opinion that they would be in a position to even contend, which was like saying you're, having a dream or a nightmare both combined, because you're not even going to get the numbers. But if you see ideologically also, when has Congress ever said Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray? Not even once. When has the Shiv Sena talked about its own vote bank? It has Ubata Sena. It has only resorted to Muslims and Dalits as a vote bank. So this kind of pseudo-secular
you know the Thackeray family well, Shaina. Will the UBT last as a political entity, or do you think these 20 MLAs that they won may end up coming and joining Eknath Shinde as well?
Let me please say that the Ubata Sena is done and dusted. Let me please say that the Ubata Sena is done and dusted. They don't have any option here on, because they have lost their core voter who has been so disappointed with them, leaving their ideology only for lust for power. Can you imagine if Adarniya Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray was around? If he was alive, if he even knew that the Ubata and the Congress were together. But I don't want to get into their commentary, because every morning Sanjay Raut does enough service or disservice to them. I just want to speak about our agenda, which is development, development, development.
Okay, development is the agenda, and after this kind of a big, you still didn't answer the question. Are you a Shinde Sena leader or a BJP leader? You danced around that question, Shaina. I didn't answer it straight.
Shinde Sena.
So BJP chhod di?
I answer that the Shinde Sena is here to stay.
Okay, let's not put her on the spot. It's a tough question to ask. And it's a tough question to ask. It's an easy question to ask, but it's a tough question to answer. So she's saying she's now in the Shinde Sena officially, and she got, and it did well for Milind Deora, who will be joining us in just a couple of minutes for him from now, and hopefully it will do well for Shaina NC as well. So thank you very much, Shaina, for joining us. Rohan Gupta now joins us from the BJP. Rohan bhai, this is a massive victory. Would you accept that this is probably bigger than what the BJP was expecting? Oh, he's joining us from the headquarters. So there's lots of shor sharaba, I'm sure, happening around you.
But in the morning, when Rajiv had asked me my number, I told 200 plus. So obviously I'm not a cephalogist, but from ground reality, after seeing 22 elections, at least I could feel the pulse of the ground. And even 2 days back, I was in debate with you. I was telling that opposition is totally against, there was no narrative with them. They completely lack narrative as far as national narrative or local narrative. And I think this is the result of that, but nobody would have accepted this kind of landslide victory, where you have 234. This is a historic victory in the state of Maharashtra. and clear-cut mandate in favor of Mahayuti. It is a clear-cut mandate in favor of people, and message by people is very clear. You have to work for us, irrespective of caste, religion, anything. We want government to work for us, number one. We don't want divisive politics, number two. And in case you are promising something, you have to show us in different states that you are capable of fulfilling that. So I think all these three narratives put together, this is the result of this landslide victory. And I think congratulations to Modi's leadership and each and every BJP worker, Mahayuti
No, so if you're so rara,
was possible.
Okay, I want to go across now to Rajya Sabha MP Milind Deora, who gave the Thackerays the fright of their life by fighting right till the very end. He lost in the end, but what a fight this was. I mean, I asked earlier if you were Bali ka Bakra, far from. You almost turned out to be the giant slayer at the end of a long and bruising day. Milind bhai, your reflections on what could have been?
Thank you. I'd like to go beyond the terms of Balika Bakra and Giant Slayer. I think there's more to politics and elections than that. The truth is, as I said to you earlier, there was a lot of anti-incumbency locally, and I took on, I would say, the entire might of the UBT party, which still is formidable in certain parts of Mumbai. They won 3 seats in South Mumbai itself. And the entire might of the party, when I say the entire might, Worli, mind you, I was taking on a former CM, a former minister in the government of Maharashtra, a former union minister. The local MP is theirs. The local MLAs, of course, Aditya. 2 MLCs from Worli who are both former MLAs of Worli, 3 former mayors. And MNS who was busy cutting our votes. And for us to have brought it down to 8,000 votes, in my opinion, I'm proud of the way we ran the campaign within a very short period, maybe about 18 days or so. So, as I said earlier to certain friends in the media, that I'm a Rajya Sabha MP, but I will continue to work as a Lok Sabha MP, as a Vidhan Sabha MLA for the people of Worli to get them justice. I think that they've been deprived of that for a long time, and I don't say that as a political point. There was a response from the people that they wanted a change. And if we didn't succeed in giving them a change electorally, we will try our best to do that developmentally.
Do you concede that at 133, the BJP has the legitimate right to seek to be chief minister, that your boss, your political boss, Eknath Shinde, fought well, fought hard, did spectacularly well, won more seats than the entire MVA, but will find it tough to be CM given the scale and scope of the BJP's victory, Milind?
Look, I don't want to get into these things and comment on a public forum like a news channel, but ultimately we fought the election under the Chief Minister's leadership, under both the Deputy Chief Minister's leadership. And I'm pretty sure that internally there will be a discussion and that everything will be well and shared with you very shortly.
Were you expecting this level of mandate, or would you concede that this is beyond your 234 now? MVA at 48, all of MVA out of 288 seats has more than what the India Alliance has in Jharkhand out of 81. I mean, that's just phenomenal in terms of election performance.
Let me be brutally honest. I was not expecting this scale of a mandate. I was certainly expecting a comfortable majority. When I say comfortable majority, Mahayuti crossing 145 seats without having to depend on independent MLAs, but reaching 234, I didn't expect that. I thought maybe in the range of about 180 or so. That was my personal view. But my party was very confident, and I was sensing the response. You know, Rahul, in Worli alone, when I was campaigning, I kid you not, I met maybe 6 or 7 women. One of them I posted a video of as well, who just totally women I've never met before, not party workers, not affiliated with our party, with any of the Mahayuti parties, and who just said that, you know, we received this money and we started a vada pav stall, we started a pani puri stall. I remember meeting a woman who was running a stall, and my convoy, when we were passing, we almost toppled her stall over, and I was very upset about that. And I caught the stall, helped her, and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "I just started this about a few weeks ago, and I'm a divorcee, a widow, sorry. My husband passed away. I have a handicapped child. I have to provide for my home. and I used the money from the Ladki Behan scheme to set up this business. And my camera team was with me, and I said, would you like to send a message to the Chief Minister? And she started speaking and had tears in her eyes. She couldn't speak. So, there was this overwhelming support, which was very visible during a campaign from women especially. That's one. I think the second thing which worked was, we ran a campaign which said that we want to take Maharashtra forward. We had an agenda. There was projects on the ground that had been executed. As usual, all I was hearing from the opposition was, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to stop that, I'm going to stop this. Almost like it was a campaign slogan, like, I'm going to stop this. So we coined the phrase speed breaker politics.
No, but Ramesh Chanitala, who ran the infamous Congress campaign in Maharashtra, has just said that today's verdict is unbelievable. I've contested many elections myself. We spoke to people on the ground. Even the exit poll said there is a fight. How can we believe this verdict? From Manikam Tagore, all these people well. Manikam Tagore says money won. I just had Amitabh Dubey of the research cell. He says, something seems terribly amiss. They're questioning EVMs and whether they are valid. How do you respond to the kind of reactions that we're seeing from the Congress party, Milind?
I find it ridiculous. And of course, some of the names you mentioned are people I hold in high regard. Some are complete clowns, unfortunately, and I don't like to say that.
Which one is the clown?
Whoever, that doesn't matter, but some of them have absolutely no idea on the ground.
Now you're not bound by the code of conduct of the Congress party. Which one of those did I name was the clown?
It's not a code of conduct. No, I don't mean the three people you mentioned. I mean that there are some people in the party who are complete jokers in terms of the kind of stuff that they believe. I mean, they think, I've often said, I've said this in a tweet once, that if you get the story right, you can get data and facts wrong. And I think when you over depend on data and you think that data wins you elections as compared to a strong narrative, when you think that fear wins you an election as compared to hope, then you should expect these kinds of victories, or these kind of defeats. So, ultimately we sold a campaign which was positive, which was development oriented. If I look at Mumbai, Rahul, and I'm a hardcore Mumbaiker, as you know, there has been massive development, and I can tell you this as a Mumbaiker beyond a politician. Things that I've been fighting for 20 years of my political life have finally come to fruition thanks to this government's efforts. And when I say this government, I mean starting from Devendra Fadnavis when he was Chief Minister in 2014 to now. And every time when we were in power, when Congress was in power in 1999 to 2004, they were just opposing those projects at the time, either the center or the state, for environmental reasons, other reasons. And that narrative was continued by the MVA partners in this election. And I really believe that ultimately people don't want speed breakers in their way. They want things to go forward. It's wrong for these data guys in Delhi in the Congress party to think that Indian voters, because they're not as literate or as well educated as them, that they're less informed. They know what's going on.
We've got one data guy, by the way, live. I don't want to put you in a debate with him, but one of the data guys of the Congress is in
fact live. All I'm saying is, Rahul, I don't know who this, but all I'm trying to tell you is there are the voters of Maharashtra, Mumbai, India, they know what's happening globally. They know what's happening with America. They know what's happening with China. They know what's happening on our borders. They know what India needs to do to get ahead. And they don't want to hear someone repeatedly running down the India story. And I tried to warn the Congress for a long, long time. But I think that, unfortunately, I'm not a data scientist or one of those kind of people. So when you are someone on the ground, you have your ear to the ground, you don't get rewarded, unfortunately, in certain systems. But beyond that, that's history now for me.
But Rahul Gandhi, who you know well, Milind, made a big deal of the whole Dharavi issue, the slum Just hear my question. Hear my question, then make the point. Rahul Gandhi made a big deal of the slum rehabilitation issue, attacked the Adani group non-stop through the campaign, trying to give it a Maharashtra versus Gujarat kind of angle, that industry is going to Gujarat. What do you make of the verdict in the context of the kind of campaign that Rahul Gandhi ran?
No, I would want to get into a specific person's campaign, but there was a campaign by the MVA to make it Maharashtra versus Gujarat, Marathi versus Gujarati, Maharashtrians versus Gujarati people. That failed. That was a divisive campaign. People saw through it. Maharashtrians saw through it. It failed. My opponent Aditya, there's so much anti-incumbency in Worli. There are projects which are stuck for 25 years, 30 years. people were asking me that why is he talking about Dharavi when he's not talking about Worli, where he's an MLA from? And it was a valid question. And I said, you should ask him that question. Don't ask me that question. So I think sometimes people lose touch. But as I said, there's a huge challenge before the Mahayuti. It's a challenge where it's a massive verdict. People obviously have voted us in with high expectations, regardless of what happens.
How does the nature of governance change? Given the scale of this victory, the stability that now comes to Maharashtra, what should voters expect to be different over the next 5 years?
It's a good question. And I think that one thing we can expect is that all three leaders of this alliance, Rahul, I've seen politics for a long time. I've seen Maharashtra's politics for a long time. They are three of the hardest working politicians I've met in my life. They work non-stop. Some of them work till late in the night. Some of them wake up early in the morning. They are at it 24/7. And so you will not get...
Are you having to work harder than you had to work in the Congress, Milind?
Don't make it about me, please.
No, I'm asking a good question. No, I asked Jyotiraditya Scindia the question and he said he's had to work much harder because it's a party that just expects a faster pace.
Let me put it this way. Now, since you're making it about me, I entered politics to work hard, to do good things, to make change, to bring about positive change. Am I feeling more empowered that there's more people who want to listen to good suggestions about taking Mumbai forward, about attracting investments to Maharashtra? Yes, I am feeling more empowered, if that's what you're asking me. Does that make me want to work harder, leave no stone unturned? Yes, it does. So it's about being empowered. It's about if you empower someone. Everyone has a strength, Rahul, I believe, in any profession. And if you empower those strengths and don't see those strengths as weaknesses or as threats, then people do their best. But that aside, I think that because these three leaders are extremely hardworking, nobody will be able to complain that they are inaccessible. They're not going to be working hard. They're not going to be working 24/7 for them. That said,
it's also literally a 24/7 government because Ajit Pawar starts from 5 in the morning. Eknath Shinde sleeps only at 5 at night. So you've got the whole day covered. One guy is sleeping when the other one wakes up early. The other guy is up all night when the first one's sleeping. So it's 24/7 in a very literal sense of the word.
No, but even Mr. Shinde may sleep late, but he also wakes up early. So he's someone who, in fact, I think he doesn't sleep enough, and I try to tell him to sleep off. But anyway, that's a different issue. I think that the challenge before us will be to honor this mandate, to do our best, to continue with schemes that have worked and that are truly empowering people. Number one. Number two, to also, we've done well economically. We were number 2 in terms of attracting foreign direct investment about 3 years ago. We've come back to being the top state in terms of attracting FDI in India. Almost 52% of foreign direct investment which came to India last year came to Maharashtra, which is unprecedented and very encouraging. But we certainly need to do much more. I would say the biggest challenge before the government will be that we need to bring more and more investments in. We need to increase revenue for the Maharashtra government so that we're able to continue to support and further augment and strengthen these schemes. That to me is challenge number 1 before the government, which we need to put our heads down after everything settles down and focus on.
We'll leave it there. Milind Deora, for fighting a good fight and for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Uddhav Thackeray and his Sena have been decimated in the Maharashtra election. If this battle was a fight to decide, if this war was a battle to decide who the real Shiv Sena was, that debate seems to have been settled. Eknath Shinde Sena has scored more seats than the entire Maha Vikas Aghadi combined. Would you believe that? Uddhav Thackeray has conceded defeat, but his son Aditya is questioning the EVMs.
The loyal deputy has now come of his own. It was in 2022 that Eknath Shinde dumped Uddhav, citing an insult to the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray. And since then, there's been a bitter battle over who is the real Sena and who is the real claimant of the Thackeray legacy. The voters have taken their pick. Eknath Shinde has trumped Uddhav, and how? Uddhav, banking heavily on his surname, has lost the poll battle and with it, the legacy battle. In the 38 seats that Shinde Sena and Uddhav Sena squared off in, the Shinde camp
1 and 2, Sena versus UBT, right? 26 of those have gone in favor of Eknath Shinde. 12 of them have gone in favor of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray.
Eknath Shinde has decisively won the Sena versus Sena battle, even expanding his footprint from beyond Thane and into Mumbai.
मैंने कहा था कि महायुति को थंपिंग मेजॉरिटी मिलेगी और इसीलिए मैं तमाम मतदाता जो है मेरी लाडली बहनाओं को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, लाडले किसानों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ और लाडले हमारे भाई हैं, लाडले सीनियर सिटीजन हैं, सभी वर्ग जो है सभी वर्ग को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ.
The Mahayuti, celebrating their sweep, has reiterated that the real Sena battle has been settled.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक प्रकार से लोगों ने अपना मैंडेट दे दिया, लोगों ने एकनाथ शिंदे जी को रियल शिवसेना के रूप में स्वीकार कर लिया है. बाला साहब ठाकरे की हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे की जो शिवसेना है उसकी लेजिटिमसी ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी को मिली है और जो मूल एनसीपी है उसकी लेजिटिमसी अजित पवार जी को मिली.
Uddhav Thackeray, whose party has managed to win just about 20 seats, faces the biggest crisis now of his political career. The Uddhav Sena right now is sulking, even calling the results illegal.
ऐसा है कि हर चुनाव क्षेत्र में नोटों की मशीन लगाई थी. अरे शिंदे का एक भी उम्मीदवार सिटिंग एमएलए गिरता नहीं और शिंदे ये बोल रहे थे हमारा एक भी सिटिंग विधायक गिरेगा नहीं. आपको मालूम होगा तो मैं इस्तीफा दूंगा. ऐसा होता है क्या चुनाव में कभी? हमारा एक भी नहीं गिरेगा. ये कौन सा भरोसा है? ये कौन सी है? ये कौन सा लोकतंत्र है? 200 के ऊपर किसी को चुनाव में नतीजे मिलते हैं क्या? जिस देश में जिस राज्य में सबसे बड़ी बेईमानी हो गई है इस राज्य की जनता बेईमान नहीं है.
Shinde Sena by itself at the same number of seats as the entire India alliance put together. What do you think went so dramatically wrong in this election, ma'am?
To be very honest, I don't really know. And I won't be able to give you answers because I wasn't mentally prepared to come on television channels accepting this kind of a defeat. And again, I'm just hoping something would turn around simply because we saw that it was a very close fight. What we saw on ground was a lot of anger against the government. What we saw was tremendous amount of support coming from the people. All the surveys across the state showed that Uddhav ji was amongst the most popular, and the votes don't seem to be matching up to the sentiment that we were seeing on the ground. So right now, I don't have an answer to this particular question as to what really did not work for us. But again, it does raise questions on, when we are gauging the mood of the people, when we are seeing different surveys and outcomes coming out to be totally different. What really went wrong is something for everyone to speculate.
The Thackeray legacy battle has been settled for now, as has the battle over who is the real Shiv Sena. Bureau Report, India Today.
The Congress that had the momentum after the performance in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the Maharashtra election was really theirs to win, but once again the Congress has proven to be one of the weakest links for the MVA. Rahul Gandhi's poll pitch that focused on Adani, constitution and caste seems to have completely failed to impress the voters.
For a party that ruled Maharashtra just a decade ago, the Congress party has just scripted its worst ever performance in the state, proving once again to be a disastrous deadweight, sinking the Maha Agadi alliance and facilitating a thunderous BJP-powered landslide in the state. just 6 months after humbling the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections in Maharashtra and helping the Agadi capture 30 out of 48 seats, the Congress has proven to be just the opposite in the assembly fight, proving to be a devastating weak link. After the humiliation in Haryana, an election widely seen as the Congress's for the taking, the Maharashtra humiliation will sting the party worse. Considering the grand old party was still seen as enjoying momentum from the Lok Sabha surprise and the multitude of local issues on which to fight, from farmer distress over soybean crops to unemployment.
It is not a believable result which came so far. But anyway, we are examining deeper way with the Mahavikas Agadi coalition parties.
But a brutal truth has reared its ugly head once again. The Congress party's strategy has not only failed to resonate, but has also exposed its chronic inability to adapt to the political realities of a rapidly evolving state. Rahul Gandhi, who spent his few days in Maharashtra, expended his energies with attacks on the Adani Group, a cornerstone of his national strategy, but failed to strike a chord in Maharashtra. The state's electorate, heavily influenced by industrial and business interests, likely saw this as disconnected from local concerns.
हमारे लिए अप्रत्याशित हैं, हमारे लिए अति आश्चर्यपूर्ण, और मैं समझता हूं ये भी कहा जा सकता है, ये अकथनीय है.
While corruption allegations against corporate giants make for strong headlines, the average voter in Maharashtra likely prioritized economic development and tangible benefits over rhetorical crusades against billionaires. The Congress's attempt to weaponize the Dharavi redevelopment project, criticizing the BJP for awarding contracts to the Adani Group, was likely seen as obstructionist rather than constructive. The Agadi's embarrassing showing in the Mumbai area reflects this.
हिंदुस्तान का संविधान.
While the BJP fought a hyper-localized election with seat management, Rahul Gandhi brandished the constitution and repeatedly warned that the BJP was endangering the constitution. An approach that clearly failed to connect with a wider electorate more concerned with immediate issues like jobs, inflation, and infrastructure. With nearly all its leading faces, including Bala Saheb Thorat, former CM Prithviraj Chauhan, and Yashomati Thakur, defeated, the writing on the wall could not be angrier. Fear-mongering about abstract threats to democracy without a clear connection to voters' daily lives seemed out of touch with ground realities. Maharashtra's deeply entrenched caste dynamics presented an opportunity for Congress to galvanize support. Yet, the Congress approach lacked nuance and cohesion, allowing the BJP to outmaneuver it. Latching onto Maharashtrian pride, the Congress tries to exploit the narrative of Maharashtra losing industrial projects to Gujarat under BJP rule. But that argument backfired too. BJP successfully showcased Maharashtra's continued growth as an economic powerhouse. But at the heart of Congress's failure lies a minimum vision, maximum complacency problem. Something that not only alienated voters but also strained the Agadi alliance, with partners quietly resenting Congress's inability to pull its weight. All the gains from the Lok Sabha surprise now lie in tatters for the Congress. With elections in Delhi around the corner, it has very little time to pick itself up. Bureau Report, India Today.
The big question at this moment, I want to spend some time on that. What happens next in Indian politics? How does Maharashtra and Jharkhand impact the future course of Indian politics with Parliament starting Monday? We're waiting for Prime Minister Modi to arrive any moment from now. So I'll start with Rajat Sethi. How does this change the political calculus from the BJP's prism?
I think 2024 Lok Sabha results are now finally behind. BJP is a renewed body right now, waiting to have its new president and then march from there onwards with a renewed vigor. It has its task cut out. There is, large, potentially important events around. There will be some kind of discussion, deliberation around women reservation. Those issues like one nation, one election, all of those issues BJP would want to again bring to the foray. And I believe we are back in business with regards to Prime Minister's clear thought around politics and the vision he has for India.
It gives him some confidence. He had to kind of make some
100%.
compromises, Sheila, but which he didn't quite like. People said, "Bare boss, karo na, varna har jayenge. Satta is most important." A lot of people around him said it. Now he can come back to his core convictions, possibly.
Yeah, some economists will lose heartbeat, but I have a feeling that now this money, Lakshmi, Ladki Behan Yojana, and which Jharkhand also he won because of that, Mamta won because of that, and Maharashtra won. So I think it will be a national...
At some point in time, the men are going to say, why do the women get the money alone? The men should, if it's DBT, there should be DBT for all.
I think something like that, DBT type of a new kind of an
Rahul Gandhi बोलेगा, "ये तो मेरा idea था." You know?
नहीं, क्या कहने से क्या होता है?
Universal basic income.
No, so Amitabh Tiwari, how does the future of Indian politics change as a result of this?
It gives a boost to Modi's image because there has been a big turnaround. He has also strategically placed himself at the back, letting the local leaders...
And still winning.
And still winning. And now he will continue with his agenda. One is the ideological core agenda, which is the Waqf bill, the UCC. They will hammer probably in this session itself. And even contentious bills like One Nation, One Poll.
Okay, Amitabh Dubey is still with us. You heard some of the pot shots by your former colleague Milind Deora, calling some leaders jokers, too much reliance on tech and data, not enough on boots on the ground. But what do you make of the future of politics? I mean, we discussed what this means for the BJP and PM Modi. What does this mean for Rahul Gandhi and the Congress? You were hoping to get on the aggressive on Monday. This kind of walloping in Maharashtra really puts the Congress on the defensive, in fact. Okay, Anish, where does this leave opposition politics in your view?
I think you're going to see a very different mood in the Lok Sabha than you're seeing today in newsrooms and on the ground in Maharashtra. Let's not forget that the mandate in June was also a very significant one, and you're going to see political parties
I don't agree because see, at some level, when a Neta feels he's got voters behind him, you have extra energy, the spring in your step. The moment you know that maybe there's nobody behind you, it takes some of that energy and that, the level of being charged up away.
No, but I think you're going to have to ensure that you keep that momentum up in Parliament, and that's going to be the responsibility of opposition parties. When the
How does
Parliament
Parliament dynamic change, Rajat?
Well, I believe that there is, the Congress party would have certainly thought that Adani issue they would be able to stall the Parliament, in their demand for GPC and all of that. I believe they'll be taken less seriously, not just by their colleagues in the Parliament, but also by the people in general.
No, and also one of the reasons the BJP was rattled post-June, Sheila, but was that they actually thought maybe we've actually lost the connect, right? Maybe things are happening on the ground which we don't know. After this kind of a verdict in Maharashtra, they boss, these people voted for us. I know that what I'm saying is the right thing.
Yes, and a lot of things are coming together. Trump is coming to America. 100 years of RSS will be next year. Again, Delhi election, always it's more vocal and disproportionate propaganda. Kejriwal gets it and also Delhi election gets it.
Don't you think that BJP has some good diplomatic wins also? And I think they would want to chest thump around the Chinese resolution on the borders.
No, and the fact that the G20 in Brazil wasn't very successful. I mean, everybody who went there compared with India, and these are two countries that think they're in the same weight class on the geopolitical stage, but they didn't have a cogent agenda, they couldn't bring it together, the scale, the ambition was vastly different.
See, Britain, France, Germany, Japan, all countries have seen many prime minister or president, but in our country, continuity is there.
You know, and spare a thought for that. 10 years plus of continuity, compare that with the uncertainty in France or in the United Kingdom, and you realize the kind of advantages the India story has had by having a stable government. This was a big opportunity for the Maha Agadi to build on the momentum from the 4th of June. I said this earlier, that the 23rd of November, Maharashtra and Jharkhand will show which of those was the outlier event. Was the 240 the outlier event or was Haryana the outlier event? I think that question is settled. There'll be a lot for everyone to mull over. I want to thank all our guests for joining us. We're slipping into a break. Prime Minister Modi will be at the BJP headquarters on the other side. We'll go across live and listen to what the Prime Minister has to say. And then more guests will join us. We'll have more analysis, more interpretation of this verdict. So our coverage continues through the evening. Stay with us. Be back in a moment.
So sorry.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj, Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
मेरे आगे जोर किसी और का न चले.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
जहाँ चुनौती दे कोई फ्लावर वहीं खिले.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
जनता से कई गुना फिर प्यार हमें मिला.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
चालबाजों का दाव एक भी न चला.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj. Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
सिर्फ फ्लावर नहीं, फायर है हम.
नहीं सर, वाइल्ड फायर.
मैं रुकेगा नहीं.
Rangila Re with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Rangila Re with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sena, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Mahayuti secures landslide victory in Maharashtra, set to form government again. Change of trend in Jharkhand, Hemant Soren returns to power, shattering 24-year-old record. NDA captures all 4 seats in Bihar by-elections, BJP alliance wins 7 seats in UP.
Hoja Rangila Re with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Hoja Rangila Re with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Presented by Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat.
Co-presented by
आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय जॉय ई-बाइक महिंद्रा इलेक्ट्रिक ओरिजिन SUVs
Gentlemen, I'm Preeti Chaudhary, and what a spectacular day it's been in Indian politics. It happens once in a way. Like they say, all elections are important, but some elections are more important than others, and Maharashtra fits exactly that bill. While the India Alliance has done exceedingly well, thumping win where the state of Jharkhand is concerned, but look at the numbers in Maharashtra. This is not just a tsunami, it's a spectacular win on your television screens, viewers. 48 is what the MVA is standing on, and if you actually look at the count and where they were in Lok Sabha, just a little more. But having said that, 48 versus 288, that's the difference in terms of the Assembly and Lok Sabha seats, and look at that figure there. The Prime Minister is going to be at the BJP headquarters very soon. We're going to cut across celebrations at the BJP headquarters. A sense of disbelief where the Maha Agadi is concerned. We're going to get you all the reactions coming in thick and fast. First up, allow me to take you through the headlines. It's a Mahayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Shinde Sena gets more seats than Maha Agadi combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with NCP's performance. Prime Minister Modi hails the Mahayuti victory, says development and good governance has won. Prime Minister declares united we will soar even higher. Also congratulating Hemant Soren on his spectacular Jharkhand win. Maharashtra Chief Minister race intensifies. Who will it be, Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? All right, what we're going to do is, viewers, we're going to go to where all the action is and all the cameras are fixed. This is an empty road right now leading up to the BJP headquarters in the national capital. The cavalcade of the Prime Minister already making its way. You can see that. And what a spectacular, unbelievable, many would say, win that has been etched where Maharashtra is concerned. What a comeback from Lok Sabha 2024. And it's all there. You can actually hear the drums beating at the BJP headquarters. Amit Shah already there. He's been meeting all the senior leaders, the party cadre, the spokesperson, senior dignitaries of the Bharatiya Janata Party, all at the BJP headquarters in the national capital. You can see the Prime Minister's cavalcade pulling in. We can expect a speech today. What will the Prime Minister say, especially when it comes down to the numbers that you see on your television screen? The Bharatiya Janata Party has bested its performance from 2019. It's ever since Lok Sabha 2024. If you take a look at Haryana, now if you take a look at Maharashtra, the BJP is in a massive comeback mode. And one thing I think this election will prove, viewers, is that 2024 Lok Sabha was indeed, at least till now, an aberration. In Haryana, the Bharatiya Janata Party bettered its performance even at the peak wave of Prime Minister Modi in 2014. And now doing way better than what the BJP did at 122, where it stood in 2019. What a spectacular win. The Bharatiya Janata Party right now at 133. And could practically do it alone with the others, doesn't even need two of its allies. But now the big question is, who is going to be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra? JP Nadda, also they're basking in the glory of what has been history in the making. You know, the annals of Indian political history, this election will be remembered, viewers, because by nothing else but the sheer numbers that you see on your television screen. The Mahayuti standing at 234 vis-a-vis the Maha Agadi at 48. What a stunning defeat and what a spectacular win, etched in history. Let's dip in to the surround sound at the BJP headquarters.
अभी राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी उनको लेकर आपके मध्य में आने वाले हैं। मैं आपकी तरफ से तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से मोदी जी का अभिनंदन कीजिएगा। हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता का आदरणीय राजनाथ सिंह जी, आदरणीय अमित शाह जी हमारे मध्य में आगे ताली बजा के अभिनंदन कीजिएगा। क्या आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन है, स्वागत है। आदरणीय देश के प्रधानमंत्री
the Prime Minister very happy, waving to the cadre that's gathered at the BJP headquarters there. He was away on an official visit, especially in the last few days, the dying days of the campaign in Maharashtra. But he really had nothing to worry about, because look at the lot of the Bharatiya Janata Party today where Maharashtra is concerned. He's already on social media, on the platform X, congratulated the Bharatiya Janata Party on scripting what is going to be a historic win, which will go down into the annals of Indian political